Standing in the office of Dr. Shiro Naguma in his very own hospital, Kamijou, bandaged up, looks at the frog-faced man with complete shock. She's paralyzed? At least on her left side. He points to the area on the X-ray in front of them with a pencil. Right here, when the blade drove into her pelvis, it sliced in between the iliac spine and the ilium, breaking the coxal bone completely. I'm afraid she won't be able to walk in her left leg for a while. How long is that? I say about 6 to 12 weeks at most. Kamijou steps back from the man, rubbing his head out of frustration. Oh, God. Listen, don't beat yourself up over it. It wasn't entirely your fault. How is it not? I'm the one who told her to come with me. I probably deserve to get my ass kicked. Well, on the bright side, she managed to stay alive without losing too much blood. I know, but I don't know what to do about this whole thing. Maybe a visit to her room might make her feel better. Kamijou looks to the bouquet of roses sitting next to him. He picks it up and heads for the door. I doubt it. Ultinus appears on his left shoulder, looking very down. He walks down the hall, then turns to the first right. Suddenly, he stops. Looking down the hall, almost every Judgment member and Tokibudai student are here, chatting to each other about the events of what happened. I heard that the guy was the leader of Ireland. Really? Well, I heard that she was riding with a teenage boy chasing him down. Before going any further, the girl spots Kamijou walking past them with his head looking down on the floor. As he continues, the rest of the girls are taking notice of the one boy. He and Ultinus can hear whispers coming from all of them. It's like you're walking down the aisle of a courtroom. This is no trial. The boy cannot look up at anyone but the floor. He continues on. Approaching room 348, he hesitantly looks up. Standing beside the door are Kongo, Awatsuki, Wanai, Uiharu, and Satin, of whom looks at him with concern. Toma, I know. I didn't stop him in time. It's not that. I wanted to say I'm sorry for what happened. Satin, I'm okay. His body turns to the door. He reaches his left hand out to grab the handle. He pauses, remembering when he visited Shirai in the same way. He turns his hand into a fist and knocks on the door. All of the girls around him and Ultinus fall silent. Come in. Hearing her voice is relief for him, but not by much. Toma grabs the handle and slides the door open. He walks inside with the girls hanging outside of the room, not going in with him. Stopping in the middle of the room, his and Ultinus' attention gears up to the TV in the top corner. In other news, during the typhoon over Okinawa last night, Naha suffered severe damages from what looks to be a tornado. I mean, looking at the footage, it looks very devastating. Oh, God. Kamijou and the former magic god looks to the left and sees Shirai in a hospital gown, sitting up in her bed with her long tawny hair untied and looking very devastated. What she went through was horrible, but the thought of her own friend possibly being in the path of that destruction horrifies her. Even Kamijou himself is a little concerned. He thinks back to last night when he was heading for the hospital. He tried to call Misaka, but there was no answer. There are too many things that he has to worry about, even in just mere hours after the previous night. He places his hand on his head and brushes his spiky hair back. I'm sure she's all right. Kuroko's eyes looks away from the TV to Kamijou, but hesitantly. How do you feel? Her expression changes to mild anger. She grabs the remote and turns off the TV. Like I want to punch you in the face. Understandable. He walks up beside her bed and places the bouquet of roses on the table next to the lamp. He looks down on the floor as he sits in a chair near the bed. I'm sorry. I should have listened to you. I never should have told you to come along. I realize that. It's just, I was so caught up in my own rage that I didn't know what I was getting myself into until it was over. But had you not come along, then that woman finding that guy would have died. I get that. I was just so shocked and taken aback by him knowing where I would appear. She stares at her right hand, turning into a fist, and clenches it out of frustration. I wish I knew ahead of time that the Black Death was in Academy City to begin with. The Black Death? It's what people in Europe call him as. And given what I've gathered from him, he and Raildex used to know each other. And he needs her to bring this Bagan thing back? More or less. Yeah. Whatever the case, they're probably hiding somewhere in Academy City. He raises his right hand. He clenches it into a fist and grinds his teeth. And when I see you again, I'm punching your face into the ground, Xanov. There are others who will do the same, but I will gladly be there to see it. Kamijou comes down and stands up from the chair. Anyway, Shirai, I just wanted to check up on you. I'll come back later to let you know if we found them. See ya. He turns and walks towards the exit, seeing the Judgment and Tokimidai girl standing near it. Wait! He stops before going any further. I don't get it. I've always viewed you so differently. A troglodyte, a nuisance, and even an annoyance. But here I am, seeing the other side of you that I didn't know about until last night in your apartment and on the highway, and taking risks that I never thought would be possible. Why? Why are you doing this? Why do you have to risk your own life just to save someone else's? I get that you made that promise, but there has to be something else. Is there? A very direct, confronting question that leaves Kamijou to not respond immediately, and something that Ueharu, Sutton, and the others are very curious about, because the old Toma Kamijou would have done the same thing. His response leaves everyone except Botanist shocked and confused. His eyes and head looks down. You see, he was born cursed with terrible luck. Everywhere he went, bad luck always followed him. Because of that, everyone called him Jinx. He was picked on, made fun of, bullied, and nearly stabbed to death by one child's parent who didn't even care that he was human. Ueharu puts her hands on her mouth while the others looks on, stunned. And the media didn't care. They just filmed him like he was some sort of monster that brings bad luck to anyone and anything that he touches, even without the consent of his own parents. When he graduated kindergarten, his father Toya sent him here in Academy City, thinking that it might help remove his horrendous luck. It was, and still is, a lost cause. No matter what he did, bad luck came without explanation. He would say that he had gotten used to it, but I'm not sure that he did. But then one day, it all changed when he met an English nun in his balcony. Little did he know, she was suffering too. Having her memories erased on a yearly basis was something that even he couldn't bear. He thought there was nothing he could do. He raises his right hand and stares at the palm. That is, until he realized the one thing that was causing his bad luck was the only thing that could save her. Sure enough, he did just that, saving her memories at the cost of his own. An audible gasp fills the area around him and Otinus. When I, the new Toma Kamijou, came in and took his place, I somehow still have the memory of that one English nun. So without thinking twice, I started honoring him by protecting and taking care of others that the old Toma knew, including Misaka. But he lowers his hand to his side. I made a broken promise. Getting Sutton and Ueharu hurt, watched you and Sphinx get injured, getting so many people killed. And I'm sure Kinsaki wants to berate me for what I did. I probably deserved it too. I get that it's really stupid of me to do what I do, but it's the only way to honor him, even if someone didn't ask for it. Everything that Shirai knew about Toma Kamijou has now been debunked. She and the girls are stunned into silence. Kuroko finally got the answers that she wanted, but not what she was expecting. I appreciate what you've been doing for everyone in Academy City, for Misaka, and for me. But there's one thing that you need to keep in mind. He turns around and looks directly into her eyes. What will you do to ensure a person's well-being and safety? Are you willing to put your life on the line in order to save someone you do or do not know? Or are you going to let them suffer and let them die right in front of your eyes? Those are the questions that I live by. An answer that Kamijou is not expecting, of which Shirai looks away, not knowing how to respond to such a heavy statement. I'll see you later. He turns back around and walks towards the door. She looks back at him as he exits the room. Pity, confusion, and regret. That is what she is feeling right now after everything that Toma had to say. As the door closes, Kuroko's mind is set on one thing. finally get it. But she carefully places her hand on her injured left pelvis. I don't know. Outside of her room, the boy plants his back against the door and softly rubs his hair. His attention turns to the girls all around him and Nothinus. Sorry you had to hear that. I'll be going now. Ueharu steps up to him before the boy could take another step. Toma, I didn't know that you... I'm fine. Really. I'll see you later. He turns in the way that he came from and starts walking away. The middle schooler looks down at the floor, unknowing what to say to him. Her courage builds, then she lifts her head up. I want to help you find her. Toma suddenly stops hearing her words. I appreciate that. But after what you went through, I'm not taking any more chances. He continues walking forward once more. She runs up behind him and grabs his right hand, stopping him in his tracks. Kamijou and Nothinus' eyes locks with Ueharu's. You idiot. Did you forget? I'm Judgment. No, we're Judgment. It's part of our job to find missing people. No matter what, we care for each other. I want to help find her too. I like to help out as well. You're not alone, Mr. Kamijou. One by one, the girls from Judgment volunteers to help out in finding the English nun. A hand places on Kamijou's shoulder. He turns and sees Yumikawa with a more serious look on her face. Listen, don't think that this is your battle alone. You're not the only one who has a score to settle with that bastard. We'll help you. Kamijou's frown turns into a faint smile. Thank you, all of you. All morning long, every Judgment member and Intel officer travels to different districts in the city-state, asking many where Index is. But with each person asked, all would say the same thing. They have not seen her. Not even a trace of where she or Zenov could be. In School District 7, Kamijou and Ueharu on the Gargoyle have been asking many students of the whereabouts of the nun, often to the same result, which is they have not seen her. At the same time, they are not the only ones. Kaori Kenzaki, bandaged up from her head to her stomach, is also searching for her friend. But once again, she is having no luck. At 2:00 p.m., parked on the side of the road, Kamijou is resting his head on his arms on the bike's handles. God damn it, this is getting us nowhere. What if they escaped to Tokyo? If that's the case, then it would take hours. Ueharu, sitting behind him, places her hand on his back. Why don't we stop for now? We'll continue to search tomorrow. They could still be in the city somewhere. I have to keep searching. Please. I don't like seeing you like this. Just take a break. Alright. He lifts his head from his arms and grabs onto the handles. I heard that Misako returned earlier. I would suggest going to see her, but now would not be a good time. Probably for the best. He revs the engine and drives off into the road once more. Visiting his dorm and viewing it from ground level, Kamijou sees that it is completely taped off by anti-skull officers. Oh shit. That's very unfortunate. Yeah, my rotten fucking luck. There's always a hotel that you can stay in for the time being. Without saying another word, he drives off once more, heading north to School District 3. At 4:00 p.m., he enters Hotel Fukube and gets a room on the 10th floor. Sitting on the edge of the bed in said room, his mind thinks back to the moment when Zenov kicked Index in the side of her head and injured Shirai's left pelvis. The anger builds within him, clenching his right fist even tighter. Ueharu hugs the boy, trying to calm him down. It's okay. It's okay. I'm sorry. You should probably head back to Judgment. Are you sure? The boy nods. You wouldn't mind taking me back there? Not at all. Kamijou sits inside of Shirai's hospital room once more. With him is Kenzaki, standing against the wall. You couldn't find them? No, we searched everywhere. No trace. I wasn't having much luck either. I even searched on the ground. This doesn't make any sense. Are there any places that you haven't searched yet? From what Ueharu told me, School Districts 2, 10, and 22 haven't been investigated yet. Kenzaki crosses her arms and looks up at the ceiling. Shirai turns her attention to the priestess. I've been meaning to ask, what are you doing back here in the city, Miss... Oh, I haven't introduced myself to you. The 18-year-old lifts her back from the wall and bows her head. Kaori Kenzaki. And I wanted to thank you again for saving my life from the Black Death. Well, it did cost my ability to walk on my left leg, but thank you for helping me out with him. Even though he got punched off of the van. Don't worry. He has blood in his name in Europe. I'll make sure that he pays with it. Hey, get in line. As the boy in Kentucky locks into a conversation, Shirai thinks back to what Othinus informed her on. Hey, Othinus, didn't you say that the Zenlab guy needs her to bring a kaiju back? The conversation stops, and they all look to the Tokimidai girl. A kaiju? Yes. He said that he was bringing back Bagan. Bagan? They all stare at Kaori's stunned face. No, that madman! Wait, you know what it is? Unfortunately, yes. But more importantly, it means that Montgomery is not in Academy City. Kamijou, Kanzaki, Othinus, and Shirai looks towards the entranceway. Archbishop Francis McIntyre walks into the room with his hands behind his back. He stops in full view of the four. Kanzaki turns her body towards him. Sensei! Sensei? I forgot to mention this last night, but it has been a while, hasn't it, Kaori? He looks up and down at her attire. Oh my goodness, what have you done to your attire? I would expect my pupil to look professional and not look like someone stepping out of a gentleman's club. Kanzaki blushes bright red, and Kamijou and Othinus looks away. Well, my original attire was damaged in battle long ago, and it was around that time when the Amaxa started to dress to fit in with the crowd. Well, when I visited the Amaxa 4 weeks ago, they seemed to understand it more than you. Once more, that image of you in the fallen angel maid outfit will forever scar your reputation. A memory that Kaori tried so hard to remove, but couldn't. She collapses to her knees and bangs her fists on the floor. If I see him again, I'm going to strangle him. Francis' attention turns to Kamijou and Othinus. Sir Kamijou? Madam Othinus? A pleasure to meet you. Kamijou bows, as well as Othinus. So, you're her teacher? Kanzaki collects her nerves and stands back to her feet, looking towards Toma. Well, yes. Sir Francis McIntyre here is one of my teachers, and I hear that you're becoming Prime Minister of the UK very soon. That's right. Sadly, I will no longer be Archbishop of the Irish Catholic Church. Too much of a headache as of now. Can't imagine why. So, is there a reason why you're back in Academy City? Two, actually. If you don't mind me asking, but can you be a translator for me? Why? You can't speak Japanese? No, but I need you as a translator for Madame Shirai laying in bed. He points to the middle schooler as he mentions her. Shirai herself is completely lost, not knowing what any of them are saying. He reaches into his pocket in his long, black, green-crossed overcoat. Miss Shirai, I need you to extend your right arm out for me. Kamijou translates what he is saying to her. Why? I have something that will help that injury. I feel like I shouldn't accept anything from a foreigner. You should do it. I know what he has, and it actually does help with one's injuries. You say that like you have experience with it. Kaori turns around and takes off her jacket. She lifts her tight shirt and shows her back. Kuroko's eyes widens. On her upper back are healed yet visible scars, some of which goes across. Not a day goes by without thinking about how many battles I've been in, and it doesn't hurt at all, depending on the dosage. Alright. Kanzaki puts the jacket back on, and Shirai lifts her right arm forward. McIntyre takes out a syringe filled with blue substance. Shirai is not afraid of needles as he used to, but seeing what is inside of it is starting to make her worry. He holds her arm and takes off the cap. He puts the needle through her upper arm. It enters her bone, and he injects the substance into said bone. Once he injects all of it, he removes the syringe from her arm and throws it in a trash can under the small desk. I wish I had brought the stronger variants, but it was completely last minute, so this won't have to do. She rubs her upper arm. So, what now? Well, unfortunately, you're not going to expect an immediate result. By my calculations, you'll be able to walk again on the afternoon of the 6th. It's a slow healer? To an extent, yes. Are there anything else? Any side effects? Only minor ones that are beneficial. All you have to do is to not apply pressure on your left side as much. That should be easy. But where are your fast-acting ones? Some of them are in my office in London. I will remember to bring them whenever something like this happens again. However, most of them are being used by combat medics in the city of Belfast. Speaking of which, his attention turns to Kanzaki, Othinus, and Kamijou. That brings me to the second reason why I'm here. He looks over his shoulder, stares at Shirai once more, then back at them. Unfortunately, I do not wish to include this young lady any further in this urgent matter. She has been through enough. Oh, right. Should we go somewhere? To the hospital roof? Yes. Come. They are waiting for us. Francis walks past the two towards the door. Kaori follows him, and Toma looks back at Kuroko once more. I'll be back in a little bit, okay? Yeah, sure. As he turns around, she puts her hand under her blanket. She teleports a small tape recorder from underneath to one of the boy's pockets. Her own suspicion grows as she leaves the room, closing the door behind him. On the snowy hospital roof, Style Magnus and Motoharu Tsujimikado are staring out into the beautifully lit up city. The latter showing his true colors as an undercover agent, working with many groups and organizations in and outside of the city. Actually, Mr. Narrator, that was a lie. I'm actually a double agent. No, wait, that was also a lie. I'm really a triple agent. Whoops, sorry, wrong again. Okay, I get it. Moving on. The door on the roof opens. McIntyre steps out, followed by his pupil Kanzaki and Kamijou with Othina sitting on his shoulder. Kamijou sees his friend standing next to Style. Wait, why are you here? Believe it or not, Kami, it involves me as well. Now, here's my question. Which direction should I cut your balls off from? Please, man, I've already been through enough. Can't you give me a break? I would, if you didn't screw up this badly. Enough. We need to focus on the issue at hand. And this issue has become worse than we thought. You and Kanzaki don't know yet, but you will in a moment. What is that supposed to mean? Everyone is in danger. The Amakusa, the Catholics, the Orthodoxy, the Protestants, all of them, including Academy City and the United States. Oh, for fuck's sake, just come out and say it. What's going on? Alright, Kamijou, let me ask you this. Do you know why sorcerers and magic gods have been kept in secrecy from the public eye? So that it doesn't create a massive outcry? That's partly the reason, among other things. So, what do you think would happen if one egotistical, sadistic, revenge-driven, arrogant son of a bitch decided to do the opposite? Kamijou becomes confused by his friend's words. But then, a realization dawns on him, as well as Kanzaki and Othina. No way. He did not. Then you! Indeed. This morning at the European Union, Zenov exposed the existence of all magic and sorcery. Kamijou becomes stunned, Othina becomes frustrated, and Kanzaki becomes furious. All of the evidence throughout the decades have been secretly collected, including all of the atrocities against man. Okay, that I did not know about. Kaori collapses to her knees and clenches her fist on the roof. Wait, if they know about the sorcerers, then that would mean... That's right. Because of your connections with Index, the world will know about Academy City's involvement. But Academy City only focuses on the science side of things, and there are hardly any evidence of magic anywhere. Kami, did you forget about Alistair and what he really is? Kamijou's mind thinks back to when he finally met Crawley a few weeks back and how their interactions went down. No, I haven't. Because of your connection with her, it brings me into the picture. Then it would involve Fukuyose, Aogami, Komoi, everyone, including Accelerator. Okay, Accelerator, sure, but most of our friends had little to no involvement with magic. It does not matter. What does matter is that there is a amount of time until the link between magic and science is discovered. If once Zenov is finished with the Civil War, he and the Celtic Armed Forces will enact the Great Crusade to hunt down all magic users. And soon, the Espers will be next. Kamijou's face becomes pale. He steps back 2 steps. He remembers the words that Zenov specifically said to him. But it seems to me that with your decision to protect her, you have unknowingly doomed all of those around you. His words now have meaning with every action that he takes. And that's not all. Kanzaki, Kamijou, Othina, and unfortunately Shirai know something that you do not know yet, Style. What's that? Zenov is using Madame Montgomery to bring Bagan back from slumber. What? Of all things to use her for, why Bagan? For the promise he made and the religion that worships him as some sort of god. It is what is driving the Celtic Republic and the Celtic uprisings around the world. The 14-year-old redhead crushes the cigarette in his right hand. Do they even know what kind of power that thing is capable of? He is very aware of it, I am sure. Why aren't the Irish people calling him out for it? The brainwashing is too great. It is far too late to change their minds. If you do not worship him, it is either conversion or death. Kamijou cannot say anything. He is at a complete loss of words. But then... So, what happens now? When Zenov uses Montgomery to bring Bagan back, it will proceed to kill her and her courier. That means you. Toma feels as though his heart skipped a beat. He places his hand on his chest and takes one step back. The prospect of him being hunted down along with everyone around him is haunting. Not to mention, a kaiju that is on the verge of reawakening is becoming more nerve-wracking to him. My hunch is that she is being held in Northern Ireland, possibly outside of Belfast. Kamijou comes back to his senses and gets an idea. Then, I'll be going with you to Northern Ireland. Francis, with a blank face, raises his eyebrow. Magnus and Kanzaki looks to the boy baffled.
Oh no. Oh no. You are not going to make this worse than it already is. Oh yeah, like it wasn't better to begin with. Listen, the Black Death and the Celtic Army are nothing to be trifled with, especially with the former leading them. If you enter the Civil War in Ireland, it will only make things worse. Your friend in that hospital bed should be enough to tell you that your right hand cannot end it. And yet this right hand ended a world war, didn't it? Kanzaki, you once told me that you wanted to repay me for saving Index's life, right? So here's your opportunity. Repay me by getting Index back, ending the war, and help me clean up things afterwards.
Kamijou raises an interesting point. She indeed remembers saying those words to him. She turns around and steps back to the ledge. She ponders on his offer. But she realizes that her master has not said anything. She turns to McIntyre. Sensei, aren't you going to talk some sense into him? Why would I? Sir Kamijou made his decision, and he knows the risk. It is against my code to change one's mind. You know that. But he's only a child. Kaori, were you not the same way when you first met me 10 years ago? And have you forgotten about Ethan Rosenthal? She pauses before she says anything else. She thinks about it even harder. After 30 seconds, she lifts her head, then looks at Kamijou. All right. I'll assemble every member of the Amaxa and go through some quick training.
And I'll go with Miss Fallen Angel.
I swear I am going to kill you. She grabs Sujipikano by the neck and she jumps off of the roof, dragging him along with her. Style takes out another cigarette and lights it. You still have not learned not to smoke at a young age. Children today. Listen, I won't get sick. I swear on my life. Anyway, I'm heading back to the UK to get some heavy muscle. Oh, by the way, Kamijou. He walks up to Toma, grabs him by his hoodie, and lights his right hand on fire, pointing it next to his face. If I find Index's dead body in Ireland, not only am I going to burn your balls off, but I'm going to drive this sword through your heart. Got it?
Yes, sir.
Good. He lets go and runs off, jumping off of the roof, leaving McIntyre, Kamijou, and Othinus alone. You know, you don't seem scared at the possibility of Bagan returning. I faced worse. It's nothing new. Believe me when I say that it is new, and it is much worse. So you better prepare for it. Right. So, shall we head off? Hang on. I need to do a few things before I leave. Kamijou opens the door and enters the room. Hey, you don't have to worry anymore. We'll take it from here. Are you sure? Yeah. Thanks for your help, Shirai. Wait. He stops before getting out of the room. I can't believe I'm about to say this, but can you please check on Misaka? She came back from Okinawa earlier today, and I'm kind of worried. Oh, sure. See ya. The small tape recorder appears next to her. He turns and exits the room. Shirai lays her head on the pillow. I need to learn some English. She hears 3 knocks on the door. What the hell? Come in. The door opens, and she hears footsteps getting closer. A man in a 3-piece suit and slick back hair reveals himself as he turns the corner. Hello, are you Kuroko Shirai? She looks at the man, unknowing who he is. Yes? Who's asking? Tetsuo Yoshikawa. I work for the Japanese government as an agent. What, like a spy? Kind of. Anyway, I heard what happened to you. First off, let me say that I hope for a speedy recovery. You and me both. So, why are you here? I heard that you went up against Jonathan Zenoff and lived. Not many people can say that they did. We could use someone like you. You're recruiting me to work for the government? That's not my intention. We just thought that you could be very useful. She lifts her right eyebrow. What if I refuse? That's not an option to take. So, when you recover, we'll come and find you. Oh, and before I leave, there's one more thing I need to mention. Yoshikawa turns around. Make sure you pay attention to the skies above. And you're not the only one that I've met today. The man walks off and exits the room. Shirai puts her hand on her face. First the Zenoff guy and now this? What a day.
Standing in the lobby, Kamijou becomes confused. Wait, she's not here? She came back from Okinawa this morning, didn't she? She did, but she said that she was getting some fresh air for a while. How long ago was that? I would say like an hour ago. Would you like to wait for her? No, I have to be somewhere. Can you tell her that I was here to see her? Sure. Oh, and I'm sorry for slapping you. I hope that our interaction yesterday didn't hamper our potential friendship. Not at all. Take care. Goodbye. The boy turns around and walks out through the exit. He spots McIntyre standing near a sign who has been waiting for him. Okay, she is not in there, but at least she's alright. Can't imagine what she is going through. Francis looks up behind him, staring at the 1 to 200 meter towers. Mind me asking, Sir Kamijou, but who are you looking for? Oh, a friend of mine named Makoto Misaka. She's going through a rough loss, so I just thought I should comfort her. Very caring. But the girl in there is right. She is not here, but in School District 15. Huh? How do you know that? I can hear her thoughts, even from this distance. She's conflicted about this one thing that she found out about, and I can tell that she wants answers. He turns around and locks eyes with Toma. If you do not mind, I would like to speak to her alone. Okay, but where will we be? You will be nearby. Once I am finished, that is when we go, yes? Sure. Man, it must be really important. It is. Unfortunate that you have to hear it as well. Kamijou stands against the wall in the shadows outside of Seven Mist. He and Otinus hears the future Prime Minister and Misaka talking to each other. Phew. At least she's alright. You're saying that like you're in love with her. Well, let's not jump to conclusions here. Alright. As long as you keep it in your pants around her, and you'll be fine. Okay, you need to stop. Gojira. Kamijou and Otinus suddenly catches wind of the name and peeks from the corner. Godzilla? Never heard of that. Isn't it that one novel that I read? Right as he said that, Francis pulls out the novel. Oh, yeah, that one. Wait. Otinus covers his mouth and he backs up from the corner. I'm guessing what you're about to say is, there's a monster of that name? She uncovers his mouth. Strangely, yes. Another kaiju in the world? He bends forward and places his hand on his head, almost knocking over the former magic god from his shoulder. I knew this place doesn't get dull, but this is getting fucking ridiculous. The two continue to listen over McIntyre as he describes what this Godzilla is. They hear Misaka's determined decision to confront the kaiju in any capacity, which causes Toma to smile. That's the Misaka I know. Even with those odds, she's willing to put her life on the line. Then again, it's nothing new to you two. Are you ready to go, Sir Kamijou? He lifts his back from the wall and walks to the corner onto the sidewalk. He looks past McIntyre to Misaka in her winter uniform. On his face is fury and determination, but mentally, he feels a sense of relief to see her in one piece. He stops right next to the Archbishop. What? Jeez. Guess I should have expected that. But why the Irish Civil War? Index. Misaka's face goes from joyful surprise to disinterest and disgust. Oh, right. I sense jealousy. Don't worry. You two will probably tie the knot sooner or later. Kamijou blushes and Misaka turns away. Shut the fuck up. Right then. He unsheathes Gaia without warning, scaring Makoto, but not Toma and Otinus. Whoa, I thought you weren't here to kill us. I'm not. He swings his sword to the left, ripping into the air and creating a portal. When his sword touches the ground, he sheathes it back. This is my way of transportation. Sir Kamijou, let's move. He jumps into the portal with no hesitation. Kamijou walks up to it, but stops himself. He looks to Misaka once more and smiles. Hey, don't die, okay? She smiles right back. Right back at you. His smile fades as he faces the portal. Otinus jumps into his pocket as he steps through. With the portal closing, he travels through the vortex like he is going down a slide. Suddenly, a thought comes into his mind. Wait, why didn't my Imagine Breaker work? He thinks on it a little bit more. That's kind of odd. An opening appears. Kamijou jumps through and lands on solid ground again. The portal closes behind him as he stands back up. Otinus exits his pocket and the two look around. They and McIntyre are in an alley with two buildings to the left and right. Where are we? The Italian capital, Rome. Do you know how to speak Italian? Immensely. You do not have to say anything. Oh, thank God. Francis walks forward with Kamijou following behind. At 2:45 p.m. Rome time, the two enters a room in the Singer Palace Hotel Roma on the 7th floor.
Kamijou and Otana sits on the bed while McIntyre stares out the window overviewing the street. The room police are going around asking pedestrians if they have seen any magicians and sorcerers. Hey Francis. Do you, Index, and Xenov have history? How did this Bagan come about? And how did the Civil War get started? Yeah, I'm curious as well. I know little, but I want to know more. Do you want the long version or the short version? The long version? That did not sound sincere. The long version. We want to know everything. There you go. Very well. He walks away from the window and sits down in the seat next to the mirror. What I am about to tell you is very important. It will give context to everything that is happening, and to give you an idea of what Xenov used to be. So listen closely.